wanna make some money online, you better listen to a mentor friend of mine. Well, pretty soon you're gonna know this song, as well as Dan Rain's Pretty Pink Thong. Adele is gonna teach you some skill until you've made your first $10 bill. It's the only place to be this year. That's the 30-day challenge. That's the 30-day challenge online.
Okay, boys and girls, we're going to do it again, okay? Now follow the words on the screen. Are you ready? Here we go.
If you wanna make some money online, you better listen to a mentor friend of mine. Well, pretty soon you're gonna know this song, as well as Dan Rain's Pretty Pink Thong. Adele is gonna teach you some skill until you've made your first $10 bill. It's the only place to be this year. That's the 30-day challenge. That's the 30-day challenge online.
Oh yeah. Welcome everybody. It's 30-day challenge time. Hi gang. As they say in the classics, we have a really big show. And we're going to be telling you who the top 10 referrers are who are in line to win the vehicle. And we're not talking some little Matchbox like joke thing. We're talking about the real deal on the road vehicle. We're not revealing the vehicle though, because, you know, a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, so last century. We're talking about something this century. So we'll be talking all about that later on in the show. We'll also be, I might talk a tiny little bit about the iPhone, but in this first part of the show, only from a marketing point of view. And in the after show, and if you've just joined us, if this is your first show, we had more people join us yesterday than participated in the entire first 30-day challenge. So it's going to be just slightly big this year. So you're all in very good company. But if you're new, the format of this show is that we try to keep it to around 30 minutes of me talking about what's going to be coming up this week and big issues in internet marketing. And then we'll have a little quick break. We have a little 5-minute coffee break. And then we come back for an unrecorded, unscripted, where we'll definitely be talking iPhone. We will be talking and answering your questions that you have. Questions first, then iPhone. I've got a couple of very cool demonstrations teed up for you, which are not necessarily 30-day challenge related, but I just want to show you because I can and because it's way cool. But that is for after that. So we have our official show, and then we have our live question and answer session after a short break. And that's how it works. So, how did your friend feeding go? Now, today, and when I start off, I want to talk about a book I read, and I noticed the great and wonderful Alison Reynolds also was reading this book, and I'm looking around now because I had my props. My props were all ready. Props. Hello, props. Props. Where are my props? Unbelievable. Can't believe that. I had it specially here. I don't know where they are. There's a book which is called Brain Rules. It is an amazing book Is our Master of Links on tonight? I haven't. Oh, yes, he is. So, Master of Links, if you could bring up Brain Rules on Amazon, that would be fantastic. So people could have a look. I've got plenty of props here today, don't you worry. But the two books that I wanted to show you. Oh, damn it! Where are they? I don't know. Anyway, we'll soldier on. The Master of Links, Shannon Cole, will be delivering the Amazon link, I'm sure, very, very, very shortly. So this book is fantastic, and it's a really great read. It's very... What's going on in brain research, and you're wondering, where's this come into making $1 online? Stay with me. Stay with me. Where brain research has come in the last couple of years, particularly the last 5 years, we just know all this stuff that we didn't know previously because we've never been able to actually, in inverted commas, watch what is going on inside our heads. In my case, that's a darn good thing. But having said that, a lot of the incredible research, like just one little tidbit from this book, which was amazing, about sleep. What they've been able to do is they've been able to obviously map when somebody's learning something, and they watch what happens. We still don't know a lot of why things happen in our brains, but what they are able to map is the pattern. In other words, what parts of the brain light up when somebody's learning something, just like hopefully will be happening at some point during this show with you. Here's the amazing thing. What they've worked out is that when you sleep, that same pattern of learning is repeated. Like they see it going on in your brain, but it happens thousands of times and in very rapid succession. And there's all sorts of studies, if you don't sleep, how much that affects you the following day, and so on. And they've discovered, which again surprised most people, everybody thought that the brain rested while you slept. Not the case. Your brain is more active while you sleep than not. So I'm just giving you permission to just sleep. If you just sleep for the next 24 hours, you'll wake up a genius. Doesn't quite work like that, but it's this fantastic book. Another reason, and this is where I'm coming with this, is that in terms of learning, giving somebody context of why they are going to be learning something is of vital importance. And that reminds me very much of what we're teaching now. And this is what something it really brought it home for me. We've been learning during pre-season, just in pre-season, a number of amazing, but seemingly to you, particularly to people who are new, seemingly very disparate, different pieces of software. Now, in and of themselves, each one seems, hopefully, you found them pretty cool. Like Google Reader, if you didn't do anything to do with the 30-day challenge ever again, just by having Google Reader, you've literally saved an hour a day, and I think people will acknowledge that's the case. There's Twitter, and I think a lot of people have started to really get Twitter now. We obviously started to show you friend feed, and we've by no means finished friend feed, and we'll be taking the rest of, first half of this week anyway, to show you the rest of friend feed and to give you context. But this Brain Rules book reminded me the context is so important. And I just wanted to assure you, and we'll be doing this a lot more, particularly as we go on, we've only got just over a couple of weeks before we kick off for the actual challenge itself, that we're doing all of this stuff very much for a reason. And we're going to be revisiting I'm not showing you any tool that we're not actually going to be using for a very specific marketing purpose or a very specific communication purpose. And let's face it, if you have any sort of communication, communication is marketing. I think when people get that, the act of communication is the act of marketing. Anytime you're having a communication with somebody, you are marketing, whether you think you are or whether you're not. You absolutely are. And I think a lot of these technologies that we're using show that, and friend feed in particular is a case that's very good. So I just wanted to assure you that there's nothing I'm teaching you that we won't be using for a marketing purpose as well as a communication productivity purpose. But it's important to give people, and it's unbelievable we've been at this for 6 weeks now, that there is a context for all of this. And that's very important too. And I suppose veterans know how it all sort of comes together at the end. And I've got to tell you, this year's challenge is going to be so far above what we've done in the past. It is not funny. The technique, if you think some of the cool stuff that we've released so far is amazing, you have not seen anything yet. Now, you thought that Google search subscribe links thing was clever? Just you wait. So, go if you get the chance, and you may not have the chance over the next 6 weeks or so, but Brain Rules is a brilliant book and something that is very, very good. So, okay, so we've got that. Now, one of the uses of friend feed, and you're sort of wondering, where are we going with friend feed? Because I put out the video last week of showing you how to sign up to an account, how to find the 30-day challenge room, how to follow me, how to do those things. And so it's the basics of the use of the tool. But what I didn't do was really show you where the usage of this is so good. So I'm going to take a couple of moments in the show to show you just a couple of very cool little tricks, if you will, for friend feed, and then we're going to explain that, and also do I called them last year reason why lessons, and the next lesson that you're going to see on the 30-day challenge release this week is a reason why lesson to start to bring this stuff together for you, because I think you need that, because then what we're going to do is launch into teams and talk about teams, teamwork, and what works there. So let's go. I'll just bring up our screen capture here. Just move a couple of things around. There we go. All right, we have the good old 30-day challenge blog there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over to friend feed for a sec. Okay, so give us a sec here. So there you go. There's our good old friend feed page. And you can see all the friends tab is the tab that I've got open there. You'll notice right beside the friend feed, you can see that the white friends tab is white. So that's there. Then, of course, if you're subscribing to me, you'll see there that there's the good old, that's the Ed Dale page, and if you subscribe along to that, that is a very cool way of following along. Now, if we scroll down to the, and you can see all the different parts of the, sorry, this will be rushed for you guys just for the moment, but bear with me for a sec. Hang on, I should close this up a little. There we go. And you'll notice, of course, at the very bottom here, that you can obviously get a feed, and I would hardly recommend grabbing a feed. We'll bring this down again for you, and again, now you'll notice here our feed icon is available, remember, so if we click that, you can see, you can click Ed Dale friend feed, you can grab that, give it a second, and boom, over it pops to Google Read. You should be getting used to this. You really should be getting used to this by now, I hope. But you can click that and add to Google Reader. I won't, because I'm already obviously got that subscribed. Something that a lot of you didn't notice, and watch this one, folks. This is really, 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 really cool. Check this out. Notice in Flock, and this is one of the reasons I love Flock as a browser, look at our search button. We have a search button here, and this is so powerful. Check out this. Friend feed search. So we just click on that friend feed search button, and now it says that it gives me a little orange box, which is probably a bit small for you guys, but it basically says you've got a new search engine feed. Check this out. If I type in my... Oh, hang on. Check this out. I'll make sure you can see it. There we are. In our top right-hand corner, watch this. If I type, say, hash 30DC, now you'll notice I've got a whole bunch of search engines here, and look at this down the bottom. Friend feed. Now, anytime somebody has used 30-day challenge, it's there in friend feed. How cool is this? What people don't realize about friend feed, and this is a really, and we'll just come back to me for a sec here. Oop. What people don't realize about friend feed is that it's actually this huge database of people's experiences on the internet when it's used properly. And this, globally, over time, will be its most important contribution. You've got the very, very, very smartest people from Google working on this, and they have created something which is absolutely brilliant, but people don't quite get it yet. Because the searching, they haven't even thought about the searching possibilities of friend feed. Now, of course, let's go back to our screen for you so you can see this. Just scroll down here again for you. Give it a second to steady up. Now, of course, I can grab this feed, and this search will stay in my Google Reader. And so anytime somebody types hash 30DC, it will automatically come into my feed reader, so I will be able to get it and get everything there. But it gets better, folks. I still haven't shown you the steak knives. Watch this. Let's go back to friend feed again, and let's go to advanced search. Now, I'll just let that settle for you for a second. You can grab, with all these words, you can go shared from a site. For example, look at this. If I only want to see stuff where it's mentioned in Google Reader, then I can choose Google Reader, just like that. You may not want to see somebody's Twitter. So I could just search Twitter. Are you starting to follow how incredibly powerful this is? I can be shared by my friends, people that I follow, or I can set up a search for one particular person. I'm just trying to remember what Alison's... so if I used Alison, I think it's Alison R. Is that right, Alison? Is that your username on friend feed? Watching the chat just for a second. Thank you. Very good. So, let's have a look. Oh, no! Rats. That's funny. Bugger. It is. That would normally work, and that would provide me with a feed. Now, if I go into... let's go into Friends again. Here we are, the delightful Michelle Trent. Let's have a look here. Now, let's see. What you'll actually be able to see also is you'll be able to find feeds. You can do searches like, for example, where people have commented on somebody's feed. So here's Michelle's feed, right? Okay. Now, this is Michelle Feeds. Why cats hate kids. Oh, that is hilarious. Check that out. I have done a filter which is only Michelle stuff where people have commented on. Now think about this for a second. Okay, think about the ramifications of this for a second. All of a sudden, friend feed is providing filters, and again, I can go back and view the full feed, or I can see stuff where people have clicked like. So this is where Michelle has put stuff up where people have liked. And I can filter this And of course, every single one has an RSS feed. So anytime, like I've got my room here and all my comments, if I want to filter through and see where somebody has commented, I can click comments, and I'll just make this a bit wider so it doesn't all look cactus on you guys. And just refresh that. There we are. Now this is mine filtered for comments. So I can do a quick look and see where I've posted something of mine which has comments attached. Now this is such a very, very cool thing. And if you think this is rambling, then you need to go and find something else, because this is the most powerful thing I've shown you on the 30-day challenge. If you get this for marketing, because FriendFeed is a database of everybody's comments online. And if you think about it from a marketing perspective, as this service grows in popularity, all of a sudden you can just know what's the most important thing to know about customers. What's the most important thing? Anybody that's going to buy something from you, what's the most important thing that you need to know? Do people buy from strangers, or do they buy from people who know them? They buy from people they know and they trust. And FriendFeed, if you want to follow me on FriendFeed, you can see pretty much everything that I do online. And I'm deliberate. Now, people might freak out from a privacy perspective. You see everything online that I want you to see from my marketing persona. People will set up friend feeds for individual businesses. People will set up friend feeds for characters, for their pseudonyms. You'll have different levels of doing this. But if you're in your marketplace and you have a friend feed set up, and you get your marketplace using friend feed, all of a sudden you've got this extraordinary database. And let me tell you, I'm telling you this right now, and I shouldn't because it's really an immediate edge concept, is this stuff will rank so highly on Google, it's not funny. Because if people comment it and like it, the people behind this have set this whole thing up to be just Google bait, to just absolutely love and adoring it, which is just something to keep in mind. So, let me give you one very practical example of using FriendFeed. The first practical example, and this is what we're going to be rolling this out in transition over the next 2 weeks on the 30-day challenge forums, is going to be a significant, and thank you, Nez came up with this brilliant idea. We really want to make the 30-day challenge forum a year-round place, a year-round destination. And it really has become that by accident. It's not something that I've really designed, but it's become such a incredible place for people gathering and sharing internet marketing information. We're going to be adding some new sections to the forum, which will be more general, so you can discuss general things that are happening in internet marketing. Plus, of course, a very focused 30-day challenge area for people who are doing the 30-day challenge. So we'll be doing both. And one of the things that we've wrestled with, for example, is obviously, people promote things, people want customers, they want things to sign up. And there are other internet marketing forums where they have, inverted commas, prospered because of allowing people to use affiliate links and all those sorts of things. And I've always been very uncomfortable with that from the point of view of, well, are they promoting it because it's an affiliate link, or are they promoting it because it's something they like? And so we've had a pretty blanket ban on that, and that has hurt the forum in a little bit, because people wanted to be able to do that, and they've been offended, and off they go. So, and I've always looked for a solution. Then I realised, well, actually, when I say I meant Andrew Nesbitt realised, hang on a second, FriendFeed. What we're going to do over the course of the next couple of weeks is we're changing the signature rules. So the signature rules will allow you to have a quote, because I love the quotes. I think the quotes are fantastic. And then the link that you'll be able to have is the link to your friend feed. Because here's the thing. If people value your contributions inside the 30-day challenge forum, then they're going to want to subscribe to your friend feed and follow what's going on. Because if you want to see what I'm doing, the absolute best place, because remember, Twitter is a feed, and I'm going to explain this in the next lesson, so this is a little preview. Twitter is a feeder mechanism. It's a distribution mechanism. Friend feed is a database where all this stuff is stored and searchable, and it's searchable 15 different ways. If you want to see, here we are, let's have a look at this. So if we want to search for my comments, where there's just comments, and I just want Twitter. Oh, actually, remember, it wasn't working. It's down at the moment. But think of this. If you wanted to just see stuff that I've tweeted about where people have commented and or liked, you can filter that down, which is just brilliant. So you're in complete control. It's another one of these classic Web 2.0 services where you are in complete control, which is just brilliant. Love that. So a friend feed is perfect for people who are following you, and I use that in the term of your client base, because at the end of the day, all of us are trying to build a client base which we can sell stuff to. Let's make no mistake. It's great to be friends, great to love you long time, but we want to be able to sell stuff. We want to be able to afford to do this on a full-time basis, and that requires money coming from one person's wallet into your wallet. It's very important. Let's never lose sight of that. So with that, if people have their friend feed inside their 30-day challenge signature, then of course, if you choose to follow somebody on friend feed, that's fantastic. You can follow them, and you'll get when their blog posts update, because if you set friend feed up properly, and you can see I've done this, I'll show you. I'll just quickly switch across here. Again, there we are. Let's go over. Let's have a look here. You can see I've got Facebook there. I've got my 30-day challenge. I've got my 30-day challenge blog and the Tubby Nerd blog. Underachiever Life's going to load up. Please don't do that. Oops. Oh dear. Driver error. But you can follow everything that you can do online. It's just fantastic. If you, and I'll just go back to, I'll just bring up friend feed here again. It really is a totally permission-based way of following somebody. So here we are again. If we have a look, you can see here I've got 2 blog feeds. I could have as many blog feeds as I wanted. I've got my delicious bookmarks, my digs, my discuss, so any comments that come into my blog are fed through here. My Flickr feed is through here. Google Reader, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha. Remember when I said we're doing all these little things in isolation, but all of a sudden they're all going to come together? Well, friend feed is one of those places where it comes together. And for those SEO types that are on here that have a bit of experience under their belt, this is going to be killer. Because I can be, remember when I showed you that little share button in Google Reader? One little click on my iPhone, and all of a sudden that information is distributed into my friend feed, which can be commented on. It's stored as a database link. It becomes a permanent link, which becomes searchable via Google. Very, very, very powerful. Very powerful. And look, if you're a beginner and freaking out about what I just said then, don't worry about it, okay? Don't worry about it. It's just a cool thing, okay? It's just a cool thing regardless of what I just said just then. So we can do all sorts of we can also do sorts of filters. And here's the thing that I wanted to show you, which is something which I think will have great use for everybody inside the 30-day challenge, which people again haven't really understood the usage of it. And as I say, they're just very clever at thinking ahead of the game here. Look at this. So if we go back to our friend feed and we click on rooms, you can see up here that I have a couple of rooms here. And in particular, the one I want to show you is the 30-day challenge room. Now, the cool thing about the 30-day challenge room is it's a public room, and I want to show you a couple of things. The first thing is that I'm not the only contributor to this room. Anybody can share something into this room if they like it. So if you see this share something, and again, I'm sorry you can't see a cursor there, but if you see this, the share something button, which is just under the 30-day challenge, I must get a logo. Note to Nez, we need logo. Share something. If I click on share something, or I drag that up to my toolbar, then if I see something that I think other 30-day challenges would like, I just press that button, and hey presto, boom, it pops straight into friend feed from wherever I happen to be, which is super sweet. Works beautifully well, and all of a sudden this becomes, and you'll start to see how powerful this becomes, because this becomes like a global database for people doing the 30-day challenge of cool stuff they come across, whether it be photos, whether it be videos, and let's face it, anybody, Jimi Hendrix Electric Church Red House is, that is absolutely useful right across the board, okay? But it is, anybody can search this, which is just fantastic, and join this and be a service, which is really, really cool. I can also, hang on, and I'll scroll this across. Just be careful of time here, just to make sure we're not going to go over recording. Okay, where are we? I can add services in here, but you can also share links, and we can comment on them, and we can vote if we like them. For example, if I like that, I can click on the like, and I like that, and we can vote. If you don't like it, and I'm just picking this just so I can show you, I haven't actually had a look at this yet, but I've got the ability to moderate the comments. I can link to this and put it somewhere else. I can reshare the entry, which is fantastic. And it's just it's like a global database of sharing cool stuff with relation to the 30-day challenge. Now, here's the thing, and I'll come back to me. Here's the thing about this. Think about this from the team point of view. Imagine if you created a room with your team, and then you set it up so that it grabbed all of your various things that you're doing and put together in with a team. How amazing a resource is that? And again, it doesn't have to be intrusive, because remember, and again, just to show you, remember that each room itself is its own feed. So you can just, here we are, bring it across. Boom. So you can just create the feed. I'll get that out of the way so you can see it. You can just create a feed, which is just your room, and you share, and your teammates, remember your Twitters can go in there, your blog posts can go in there, stuff you find on Google Reader that you like can go in there. You can really, really use this as a incredible database for your 30-day challenge journey, which is just fantastic. Now, if I'm going a little bit fast for people, don't worry, because all of this is just a preview. All of this is going to be explained in great traditional 30-day challenge videos over the course of the next week. So you just have to make sure you're on the site, and that we'll be showing people videos of exactly how to do this. So I just wanted to give people a bit of a preview to have you start thinking about how powerful all of this is. Because all of a sudden, friend feed becomes this glue, if you will, around which your team can base its experiences, and you can stay in touch. And there's a fundamental philosophy, and we'll teach this in the 30-day challenge, but it's by staying in touch. The more you're in touch, the more you communicate with whoever you wish to communicate with you, the better relationship you have. Let me put it to you. Your best friend. Okay, think of your 10 top friends, if you will. I am tipping that you talk to your best friend, your absolute best friend, more than you talk to your 10th best friend. Or, to be more dramatic, think about the person you like the most and then the person that you hate the most. I'm tipping that you speak to the person you like the most far more than the person you hate the most. It's all about communication, people, and the most exciting thing about what has happened in terms of marketing online is that there are so many ways to communicate to your client base in such valuable ways. And the best part about it, the best part, is that you're not in charge, I'm not in charge, you guys are in charge. You can delete me on, you can unsubscribe, you can hide, which is a friend feed concept, which we'll show you how to do during the week. If anybody, so for example, people think, well, hang on, if anybody can post into that 30-day challenge room, won't people try to spam it for, putting up their affiliate links or stuff like that? People will just hide. If people try to do that, boom, one click, they're gone. They're out of there. It doesn't matter how hard they try, they will never, ever, ever be able to communicate to that room again. And it's beautiful. So they might have one shot, but that's it. And that's how it should be. And then when you look at all the searching capabilities, it's like, if I think, about some of the links and this is where Twitter is, and, there's this whole thing going on where it's, is Twitter better than FriendFeed? Is FriendFeed better than Twitter? They're two completely different things. They have two completely different, they're just apples and they're oranges. And there are some people who should know a lot better don't get this. Twitter is like another mobile phone. It's like the next generation of communication. It's like mobile telephony. It's like the internet. It's another way of tying a bunch of technologies. It's a distribution platform. FriendFeed is a content database. It's a place, it's a receptacle, it's an encyclopedia of a person's experiences as they want you to see them online. And again, we're going to go into this in a lot of detail, but it's a very crucial concept. And a lot of the digerati just don't seem to get that. They don't seem to get that from a marketing point of view. That is for sure. Mobile telephony, that would be cell phone usage in American. And that is a very, very... And now I noticed just out of the corner of my eye, Ed, and I hope you're enjoying that screen there, Ed, the Plurk. People got very excited about Plurk, which is, if you haven't heard of it, don't worry. It's just another social mechanism. It's a lot of fun, I've got to say. Very cool, fun thing to have, But people started tweeting me about it and said, oh, Ed, this is going to replace Twitter. This is fantastic. I took one look at it, 7 seconds, and realised, no, it's not going to do it. Because it's not a database, it's not a receptacle of content. There are only two things in this world. And I need to come up with a really nice story for this, but there are only two things. There are distribution platforms, the pipes, if you will, and then there's the content, the stuff that flows through the pipes. There are only those two things, and as marketers, you may not think about this, but this is how I sort of think about it. Only those two things matter. And as marketers, but people confuse them. They think content platforms, stuff platforms, is what it's about. Whereas if you have stuff, but you have no way of distributing it, it's useless. Totally useless. And if something tries to be both, it will fail. It's never worked. You're either a distribution platform or your content. You're either the water in the dam or you're the pipes. If you try to be both, you're going to get very soggy. And that is a big concept. I don't know if we've gone too deep for the show today, but that is what it's really is all about when you look at marketing. And that's how I can look at a technology and assess it. So, briefly, next week, We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but we're really going to start focusing on teams. So what I would be doing is starting to think about who you want to be on a team with. I'd really encourage you to be on a team in the 30-day challenge. I've said this a number of times, but I really, really mean it. I think the chances of your success in the 30-day challenge are increased markedly. Now, I had another prop for you, which of course is not here, damn it. Another amazing book, which again you probably won't have time to read, but Master of Links if you're about. Group Genius. Group Genius is the book, and I love it because as a musician, the guy is a professor, but he's also a jazz musician, and he talks about how groups collaborate and the power and, if you will, science behind groups and teamwork. It is absolutely brilliant, and it's called Group Genius. Fantastic book, and that's very, very important. Now, I notice, is a team like a joint venture or something? In the 30-day challenge context, let's talk, what is a team in the 30-day challenge context? It has a number of functions. The first function of the team is it's just somebody that you can, it's a group of people that commit to communicating together, because everybody gets stuck. And the bottom line is, and there's a whole bunch of science behind it, but the bottom line is that more heads are better than one head, and you often get a exponential increase, if you will. So if you have 3 people working on a problem, you'll often get a much better result than if you had just you trying to bang your head against a wall. So team gives you support. Emotionally, the most important thing for the 30-day challenge that I think teams are great for is the emotional aspects. Too often when we're teaching something in terms of internet marketing or anything for that matter, we focus on the tools and we show you the how-tos. Here's step A, B, C, D, and E. It's never step A, B, C, D, E that gets you into trouble. It's what goes on up here that gets you into trouble. That is the big issue, and that's the big problem. And I think if there's one thing I'm really proud of inside the 30-day challenge is from day one, the first time we did this in 2005, we've acknowledged and realized that it's what goes on up here is going to stop you from successfully completing the challenge. And the number one antidote to stopping you from achieving something in the 30-day challenge is to have a team to help talk you through and to realize that you're not the only one with a problem and you're not being stupid. And that has been a big part of it. So that's part one, I think, and the most important part. Part two is the best teams, and this is really important, the best teams, the most effective teams, and Group Genius goes into this a lot in the book, are people who are from very diverse backgrounds that bring different things to the table because they have different life experiences, different, just life experiences, different expertise, different attitudes, and so on. That mix, that dynamic mix can cause problems sometimes because you have clash of personalities, but you will almost always get the best innovation and the best effort from having a group of diverse people being part of a team coming together for a particular project like the 30-day challenge. And that's a big part of it as well. But if we look at it and break it down, I'd love to see a team where you've got somebody who doesn't mind writing, you've got somebody who is a coding person. I noticed and I saw during the week there was a 15-year-old Latvian programmer who wanted to join a team, and I actually tweeted about it and I said, if I was you, I would be jumping up, and that is exactly the type of guy I want on my team. I want one of those killer 15-year-old Latvians who've been programming from the age of 2 to be part of my team. Brings diverse experience, you cannot get more diversity than that. Don't worry, if you're a 40-year-old American programmer, you too are absolutely as relevant. Alright, so that's the formal part of the show. What we are going... Caro, be nice. What we're going to do now is we're going to have a short break. Then we're going to come back. You'll notice I spent 30 minutes and I did not talk about the iPhone once. I think a round of applause on the chat is worth there. Just general applause and so on. Thank you very much. Please, no applause. Oh, come on, seriously, no, please, no more, no, please. Thank you. No, oh no, please stop, no more. Oh dear. What was I going to say? After the break, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to tee off on Apple. Yes, even I sometimes have a bad thing to say about Apple, and I'm going to tee off on them because the launch was not handled. And there's a big marketing lesson out of that whole thing as well, I think. Then I'll be showing you, frankly, some of the cool as heck stuff that you can do with the iPhone. And of course, I keep saying the 3G iPhone, but of course your current generation iPhone just needs to be upgraded, or your iPod Touch needs to be upgraded as well. And they both work beautifully as well. So we will absolutely be showing that. You know, for example, I could just do this. Hang on. Look at that. Hang on. Watch. How about that? Okay, we'll flick cat. Now, the cool thing about this is coming from about 50 meters away down in my lounge room. But we will show you all of that after the break. I hope you're not having a bad day, because the 30-day challenge this year is going to truly kick ass. See you very, very soon. Everybody!